Touch somebody and say, I got to listen to God.
Listen to God.
If I'm going to have a future, I've got to listen to God. Because God speaks from eternity past. We know it as the dateless past. And the dateless past is the period that existed before time. Because God is so sovereign, he is not shrouded or captured by time. He rides on the waves of spirituality, and when he declares a thing, he watches over the thing to bring it to pass. When you understand that, then you understand that God does not lose. Because although I'm subjected to time, he has power over time. And no matter how much time passes, if he spoke it, it's got to come to pass. So eventually, you're going to see what God has spoken. And Satan then has to be introduced because it's Satan who comes to offset not God's word, but to offset your belief in God. Because God will never change his mind about you. What he said, he's going to do it in lieu of your personal experience. Because if he wasn't going to do it, he would have never said it. Because his word does not return unto him void. He is not like man, you know. We make promises we know we can't keep. And sometimes we have no intention of keeping the promises, but God is so concerned about his word that when he says it, if he's got to put himself on the cross to bring his word to pass, he will do it for you. Touch somebody and say, I got news for you, honey. You might not like me, but God does. You might not believe in me, but God does. And because he believes in me, he has spoken something about me that God and I are going to bring to pass together. Now, you can miss what God says. Not because God changes his mind, but because you lose the desire to go after it. Come, you see Adam in the Garden of Eden. God spoke what was going to be. But Adam made a choice contrary to the will of God. Can I talk to you just for a little while? He makes a decision contrary. And so then you've got to understand the desire. Because God never overrides the desire of the individual. That's why he does not judge you by situation. He judges you by revelation. Because you can be in the middle of a negative situation, but still desire the will of God. I'm doing wrong, but I desire the will. So God does not judge me by my situation. He judges me by my revelation. Now what people will do is they will try to discourage me on the basis of my situation. Because they can see my situation, but they cannot step into my situation and see my revelation. Tell somebody, tell them, God's talking to me. He's not talking to you about me, but he's talking to me about me. He's not going to tell you my secrets. Who made the Lord a tattletale? Why is the Lord telling folk all of my business? Why can't the Lord just talk to me? And every time I go into a conference, there's some 60-year-old apostle who looks at a 30-year-old bishop and tries to dissect my life and find fault in me. The Lord told me, the Lord showed me. And come on, if the Lord is going to tell you all of my business, then maybe I don't need to be in communication with God. I need to be in communication with you, and you go to God for me. But Jesus is the intercessor between God and man. Shake your neighbor's hand like they gave you some money and say, why do I need you to go to God? Because God's concerned about me. As a matter of fact, when he said he was going to bless me, he didn't contact your bishop. He didn't contact the prophet. prophet. He did not contact the evangelist. As a matter of fact, he came to you where you were. Some of y'all got convicted in the club. I feel like breakdancing this morning. God will meet you where you are. Not because of your love for him, but because of his love for you. I knew the love of God before I knew the God of love. He loved me in the middle of my situation, because after the situation comes the revelation. And when you go through, you gain power to overcome the next situation. You see, the first trial is preparing you for the second trial, and the second trial is preparing you for the third trial. Touch your neighbor, tell them better. Not bitter, but better. God's just using everything that I'm going. I feel this thing in my system. God's using everything I'm going through to get me to the next level. Sometimes you just got to flow with it. Sometimes you got to ride the crane and tell the devil, I may be down right now, but I'm coming out, and God's going to give me the victory. I feel like preaching today. It's God then who elevates, and he elevates after he revelates after the situation. So we are moving into situation, then into revelation. The word dokomazo, it means experience. You see, Satan meant it for evil, but God's going to use it for your good.